Scooterheads, doing something a little different today. I'm recording on a different contraption from usual. This is my mobile podcast rig. A buddy of mine liked it and decided to buy one himself, and I told him, you know what? I think it actually sounds better than when I go directly into my computer. So I'm going to give it a try this time. We're going to start off by talking about an email I got from Jay from British Columbia, not far from Timothy West. Beautiful, beautiful part of the world. He starts out, "Hey Dagwood, big fan of the Electric Scooter podcast. Listen to every episode. Always look forward to Wednesday. I currently ride the Wolf King GT Pro and totally loving it." Yeah, what's not to love? It's a beautiful machine. "I have the knobby tires installed, and I'd say 90% of my riding is off-road, which that's pretty comparable to myself. I go through the trails with my girlfriend, Jade," well, that's a pretty name, "on her mountain bike, and our two dogs running along with us out here on beautiful Vancouver Island." We live a couple hours away from Timothy West, who is actually in Victoria. Amazing trails out here that run by rivers, through mountains, and it's just beautiful. I've seen some of the videos from Timothy West, and I'm jealous. We love it. The dogs love it. And anyways, I've been wanting to touch base with you for a little while, talking about some of the tips that you perform on your Wolf Warrior to keep it in shape. And that's because, I do always encourage people, maybe not enough. I need to do it more often. If you have topics that you want me to talk about, just bring them up. And, if it's feasible, I'll do it. He says he's intrigued by the Mosfera, as am I. And that's what kind of led me into what I'm about to talk about. So first off, Jay, thank you. Thanks for the pictures. Really cool pictures, too, of just a beautiful, beautiful green trails. He's got the total blacked out version. He's added a headlight. It already has good headlights, but it's always, hey, the more lights, the better. And he has a nice full face helmet, which I'm happy to see. Saved my beans the other day when I went ass over elbow and endoed and hit my head straight onto a rock. Couple cool looking dogs there, most deaf. And one of his dogs is standing up on the scooter with his paws above the headlights. That's pretty cool. That's a cool shot. Thanks, Jay, for writing in. So, how did that lead me down the path of today's topic? It's kind of a personal topic because it's about me and my decisions, or decisions I am going to make. I have two motorcycles that, if you own a motorcycle, you know how difficult it is to part with them. They are like a piece of you. My motorcycles are completely customized. I have a sport bike, which is my go fast bike, and then I have a cruiser, which is for putting the wife on the back and going on long trips. Both of them are completely customized top to bottom to fit my size body, my arm length, what's comfortable to me, what I like. When you're riding on something with two wheels, I don't think you should spare any cost for safety or comfort, because it can be dangerous. Anything you do to give yourself a little bit of an advantage, like Jay put the extra headlight on his handlebars, anything like that is money well spent. If you're not spending money on your safety and well-being, what are you doing? What are you doing with your money? I don't know. What I wanted to talk about today is I'm going to sell both of those motorcycles. I hate to do it, but it's just that time. I got another buddy who rides motorcycles. He's selling his, and he's encouraging me, saying, go ahead, pull the trigger, just do it. Let's do it together. Let's do it at the same time. He already sold one of his. He also has two. I have both of mine. So what am I going to do with the money? It's not like I have extra money to throw around, but if I give something up, I don't feel too guilty about getting something new. So I have narrowed it down to 3 machines, and one of them is the Mosfera.
Here is something different. We are excited to bring it to you, the electric scooter Mosfera. After not being able to find an off-road scooter that fits our needs, we decided to create one ourselves. Mosfera has been designed and developed in collaboration with the Federation of Security and Defense. It has proven to provide effective mobility for a wide range of applications: special operations, hunting, agriculture, patrolling, film production, and spades of good old-fashioned fun. It's time to see Mosfera in action.
The Mosfera is made in Latvia, one of the Balkan countries, Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia. We could get into politics, but let's just say they're former Soviet territories, so they are in a precarious position right now. So this Mosfera, Mosphera, they're from Riga, Latvia. Confidence in our ability to create new and exciting ideas what keeps us going. We strive to retain the trust. Yeah, a bunch of corporate speak. So they also have a wolf trike, which is kind of interesting, a 3-wheeled beast. But we're talking about scooters. This is the Electric Scooter Podcast. So let's bring it back to the Mosfera military grade ATV electric scooter. So that is something new. My understanding is they're around $9,000 US. They have a steel tubular frame, powerful and energy-saving hub motor that produces up to 6,000 watts of power, and its sine wave controller, which is good. So that'll be smoother than a square wave controller. Lithium-ion battery delivers a bunch of torque and up to 100 kilometers an hour in speed. Covers a distance of 150 kilometers with one charge. And with an additional battery, you could cover 300 kilometers of range. Maybe it's true, but I generally cut it to like half to 75% of whatever the manufacturer says. These guys are in Europe. They manufacture to high standards. It's to be used with militaries and for hunting. It has an upside-down fork in the front for suspension. The rear suspension is all about traction and designed for jumps. That's kind of cool. We designed the rear end to be tough and capable of handling successive big hits. And it has a progressive curve tube suspension, and a tuned amount of anti-squat helps you to keep powering upwards. Has an extra battery compartment, dust tight, IP66, so that just means it can handle water. I'd still stay out of water. 22.5 centimeters of ground clearance. It can climb hills up to 45 degrees. You have a choice, like the Wolf Warrior, of either off-road or urban tires. Non-slip deck, and it has ice tires too. That's kind of cool if you're there up in Canada and you're going to scoot in the ice. That's something I've never done. I'd like to do that. Of course, front and rear lights. Powerful disc brakes, which are hydraulic. It has a forward, a neutral, and a reverse. Speed modes are Eco, Standard, and Sport. Tires are 17-inch off-road or street tires or ice tires. Of course, the lights are LED. It weighs 60 kilos. So that's, what is that, 120, 125 pounds? That's less than I imagined. It has its own app that you can put on your phone. That's pretty cool. Production time is 90 days. I imagine with what's going on now, yeah, it's probably going to be a lot longer than 90 days. I believe Oh Man Dan has been waiting 6 months. At least I haven't heard from him lately, but he did a video saying that he ordered a Mosfera, and he told me in person that he ordered a Mosfera. I haven't seen an update on his YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure when it gets there, he's going to be excited and he's going to release a video. But the last one I saw from him on the Mosfera was 6 months ago. So that's the Mosfera. Pros and cons. There's a lot of pros. It's another big, heavier, version of the Wolf Warrior. One of the cons for me is I already have the Wolf Warrior, so it would be a bigger, badder version of the same thing. Although the Mosfera does have bicycle-type handlebars, which are slightly different from the Wolf Warrior. The headlight on the Mosfera is a little bit higher than it is on the Wolf Warrior, but I don't ride at night that much, so it's not that big of a deal to me. So that's the Mosfera. One con is definitely the price. Let's see. $8,800, which is 7,500 euros. I was right, about $9,000. And if you pay for the camo color scheme, which why wouldn't you? It's an extra $234 or an extra 200 euros. So we're talking about $9,000. Whereas the other two alternatives that I'm looking at are around $4,000.
This is Paul Somerville with Electric Scooter Guide, and you're listening to my favorite podcast, the Electric Scooter Podcast with Dagwood Streets.
Damn, you're so good, man.
My next choice after I sell my motorcycles is possibly the Coburg Ranger.
Scooter or dirt bike? You decide. Introducing the new Coburg Ranger. A unique crossbreed of a high-performance dirt bike and a functional city scooter. It's as fun as it is functional and as powerful as it is practical. Hit the dirt and the track. There's no compromise on the Ranger's versatility and no limit to its fun. The Ranger features Go Anywhere mode. Exclusive to Coburg, it's a combination of power, torque, lightness, and silence that you just won't find in another bike. It's a one-of-a-kind bike with a one-of-a-kind construction for a one-of-a-kind riding experience. With over 9 years in the making and 7,000 bikes behind us and sold in 43 countries, we're proven pioneers of the electric motorcycle industry. The bike is 100% handcrafted by our dedicated engineers in our own factory in Europe, using only 100% premium components for 100% quality. We don't settle for less than the best because we don't believe you should. The Ranger doesn't just play hard. It also works hard. From commuting to heavy lifting, it's a workhorse, suitable for all your needs, whatever your skill level.
My second alternative purchase upon selling my two motorcycles is the Coburg Ranger. Prices start at $6,000 and they go up to about $8,500 if you put on all different types of higher end packages and add-ons and things like that. The Coburg Ranger is interesting because, like my third choice, it is a bicycle, essentially, an e-bike. It looks like a bicycle, but you ride it standing up. It does have a seat that folds into the chassis. Okay, it does have a seat, but it folds into the chassis of the scooter, and you stand with your feet side by side, which my third choice does the same thing. It has a bicycle chain type hub. It's actually has two of them, two different chains, which to me is a negative. So you ride standing up with your feet in parallel, kind of like Ben Fox rides scooters. And the rear tire is smaller than the front tire. I imagine that is probably for torque, getting higher torque. It looks like it is really versatile. They're saying anybody can ride it, any confidence level. They're calling the seat a reclining seat. And on the videos, I could see that there were folks that were riding sitting position, and then they'd stand up, and while they were riding, they could fold the seat back into the chassis. Or if they're getting tired, without stopping while they're still riding, they could pop the seat up and sit for a while. It's lightweight, gives you a lot of torque, but has all these accessories that go with it too. Like one of them is a trailer. You can hook something to the rear of the scooter / cycle, and you can carry stuff. You can pull stuff, boxes, whatever you need to do. It's like a flatbed. It's got side rails, front rails, and that's probably one of the things that I would suppose that jacks the price up to over $8,000. You can charge it with either 110 or 220. The battery's 48 volt, 24 amp hour, or you can get a double pack. In full power mode, like really jacking on the throttle, you can get 19 miles of range, which is 38 miles if you have the double pack. So, this would be for me something fun just to go off-road mainly, I think. Again, it's kind of doubling what my Wolf Warrior already does. It's got 3 power modes, takes 2 hours to charge. That's good. Transmission is a clutchless 1-speed. Top speed is 50 miles per hour. That's pretty awesome. The brakes are Tektro Orion 4-piston, and it looks like that they are hydraulic. Weighs 110 pounds, 2 colors, black or military green, and 3 different styles. One is adventure, one is race, and one is the standard. The adventure and the race are both 14 kilowatt motors, and the standard is only 8. I'm always going to go for the biggest and best battery. That's just my advice.
The first time I saw the scooter, I was a little thrown off because I thought it was missing a seat. Then he told me it was a scooter, and I was like, let's shred. Coming from a BMX background, I'm used to standing up a lot. It's a little bit weird to have my feet kind of, side by side, and it's a little, uncomfortable at first, but then once I got the hang of it, it was pretty nice. The first time riding it, I was blown away about how fast it was. I almost couldn't hold on to the bars because I was not ready for it. If I owned it, I'd probably go on some trail rides, little jumps here and there, take to the dirt jumps. It being electric and, just making no sound whatsoever, I could just rip it down to the, gas station and something, grab some snacks and rip it back and have some fun on the way, and it's pretty dope.
Was it Shakespeare or Winston Churchill who once said, I could just rip it to the gas station, grab some snacks, and just rip it back? It's pretty dope. Their target audience seems rather clear to me. They're targeting a younger, hip audience, folks that are doing BMX and skateboarding and that kind of thing. Again, we are talking about the Coburg Ranger, and whether the host of the Electric Scooter podcast, Dagwood Streets, once he gets a minor windfall by selling a couple motorcycles, what should he spend the money on? There I go, talking about myself in the third person again. Well, I don't need new shoes, so I think a scooter of some sort is in my future, and I am deciding between the Mosfera, the Coburg Ranger, which, again, it looks like an e-bike, but you ride it standing up. Is anybody familiar with gas or trials bikes? They are motorcycles. I say gas, that's actually a brand made in Spain. And they make motorcycles, or at least they used to. I don't know how big trials bikes are anymore, how popular they are. But you would stand up on them, and a lot of times they didn't even have a seat because you're going really slow, bouncing from rock to rock, and it's all about balance. And the Kuberg has a seat that incorporates into the steering stem. So if you never fold it down, you're riding a scooter. Your feet are parallel. So that's one thing I'm not super thrilled about. Maybe I could get used to it. So it's either the Mosfera, the Kuberg Ranger, or one more yet to be disclosed, which I'll talk about in a minute. But if you are not 100% confident that Kuberg is targeting a very young audience, check this out.
So what I think I'm going to do is start from the front, including things like brakes, throttle, the seat lifter, the front shocks, and stuff like that. And then we will move to the motor, the battery, rear brakes, rear suspension, and stuff like that.
What is this kid, like 12, 13 years old? But I gotta tell you, he is impressive. He's very thorough, very eloquent. I'm guessing this guy's got a dad who raised him right.
So up first is the brakes. Now the brakes are very nice. They're adjustable. The left one is the rear and the right one is the front brake. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering. I believe it's opposite from a mountain bike. And yeah. So now for how you lift the seat. How you lift the seat, it's really simple. There's a little lever that you push right below the left handle. You push it and then you put weight on the seat and it will go down. And then you let go of the lever and it will stay in the desired location that you put it. Then you just push it to pop it right back up. Very simple, and that's pretty much it.
And the young man goes on to give a very detailed walk around. And if you want to check out the whole thing on YouTube, he's in his front yard giving exactly that, a walk around of the Kuberg Ranger and explaining the layout and functionality. And I'm impressed. He really does a great job. So if you want to see the whole thing and you're serious about the Kuberg Ranger, go ahead and go to the YouTube channel. But I am going to cut and splice into a couple sections just that I think are interesting. One thing I was interested in is the footboard or deck. Let's see what he calls it. I don't remember. But it's kind of strange. It has screws going through it, pointing upward, so that you are standing on the bottom of the screws, if that makes sense. And of course, they're flat. You're not standing on pointy screws. You're standing on flat screws that I'm sure give you excellent traction, but I don't know, man. You might want to be wearing some shoes that you're not too fond of.
Now for the footboard, it's very basic. There are these grips that are literally just screws screwed in from the bottom, as you can see right there. Although if you're riding this thing a lot, then eventually you won't be able to get them out because the threads will be too damaged to be able to take them out. So pretty much you got to decide whether you want them in and out shortly after you get the Kuberg Ranger, and that's it for the footboard.
So now let's hear about the handlebars and wrap it up and get on to the next PEV micromobile / scooter / e-bike /
The handlebars are really nice and wide, and you can turn very sharply with the Kuberg Ranger. That is a very big plus that this has. and this is the throttle map button. So how you exactly change modes is while you are plugging it in, then you would hold that button, and it depends on how long you hold it for, that what mode it would be in. So say 2 seconds would be in mode 1, 4 seconds mode 2, and 6 seconds for mode 3.
Okay, I do not like that quote unquote feature. How long you press the button is how you switch modes. No, I see issues with that.
And it will stay on whichever mode you were last riding it on. So say if someone was riding it on mode 3, then the next time you turn it on, it's going to be in mode 3, unless you're changing the mode when you're turning it on.
Alrighty, so where do I put my money? The Mossfera? That thing is pretty burly. I'm liking it. The Kuberg? Dude, I could just rip to the gas station and get some snacks. Or, if I'm being honest, the one I'm leaning toward is called the A-Ride.
This is the most badass e-scooter ever invented. Meet A-Ride, the world's first full suspension all-terrain e-scooter, complete with fat tires and a super powerful motor. But just how powerful is it? Damn, son. With a high torque 1000 watt Mac geared hub motor, A-Ride boasts superior torque and performance. Fly at speeds up to 35 miles per hour.
Hold your horses there for a buddy. You're using words like badass and damn, son, and you're flying at 35 miles per hour? The Kuberg Ranger gets up to 50. I don't think you're going to rip to the gas station to get some snacks on the A-Ride. You're going to cruise to the gas station. So chill out a little bit, okay? Just cool your jets.
And climb grades up to 30% with ease. A-Ride has a 50-mile range and can fully charge in only 5 hours. Plus, the 6061 alloy frame ensures long-lasting strength and safety. Climb mountains, then tear down the trail. A-Ride can tackle any terrain. Rip through snow, tear through ice, spray sand.
Ooh, spray sand. I did that a little while ago in my backyard. Had a little too much green tea. You know what? The Kuberg Ranger and the A-Ride need to swap hosts, right? They need to swap presenters. This is the guy that should have been presenting the Kuberg Ranger. Am I right?
Shred through dirt and quickly commute through the city. You've never had so much fun. A-Ride's intuitive design and ultra-wide platform lets you stand in a natural position. This distributes your weight equally throughout the frame, giving A-Ride an incredibly low center of gravity. A low center of gravity means you can take turns even harder and faster than ever before. A-Ride's stability and power make it the perfect versatile commuting option. Carefully and quickly commute through urban environments with ease and control. Created by Audric Lecour, a pro mountain biker from France.
Ooh, France. Fancy.
A-Ride was inspired by the Alps and born out of Whistler.
Born out of Whistler, huh? I don't think he means like the painting of Whistler's mother. I think Whistler is probably a mountain in Canada. And I was fortunate enough to meet the good folks from A-Ride. And the good news is it's manufactured in Taiwan, which to me is a huge plus. I could go on and on about Taiwan, how they were colonized by the Japanese and they were able to instill this craftsmanship and all that kind of thing. But let me just say that products from Taiwan, I have full confidence in. At CES, I was very involved in creating podcasts and doing other things. I didn't get to ride the A-Ride. It sat like 20 feet away from me the whole time I was there. the representative was on it a lot. There was a couple times I looked over that I thought, hey, maybe I got a minute now. I'll jump on the A-Ride. And the representative from the company was doing the circuit, I guess, to show it off to people. So I did not have a chance. I do regret that, but they were nice people. And the company is in Canada. Manufacturing is in Taiwan. For me, that's a huge plus. A lot of people probably don't care about origin of manufacture, but it matters to me. And the A-Ride is clearly targeting a slightly more mature audience than the Coburg Ranger. The Mosfera, man, that's just for people on their way to Ukraine that want to get around. I mean, that thing is for badasses. I can say that, right? This is a clean podcast, but I can say badass. The other guy was saying badass. That's what the Mosfera is. It's completely badass. The A-Ride is aimed at a more mature audience, and here are some testimonies from people that look to be, I would say, at the youngest 30s and maybe going up to 50 and even 60 years old. And I like their natural expressions of the things they are saying right as they are still on the A-Ride, picking it up and riding it for the first time. And then when they circle back, here's some of the comments they had.
It was amazing. It's very fun, and it's easier than I thought.
All right. How's that feeling?
Good, that was fun. again.
Yeah, no, I think it's really good. It goes fast, it's stable, goes off-road.
It's sweet. I'm super stoked on this thing. I mean, you can do so much. It's great for the surf, great for the city, and great for the alpine environment. Love it.
Fantastic.
How was it overall?
Easy.
Dude, that's sick.
It's really fun. I love it.
Like you could do a lot with it and be on it for a long time without getting tired. Thanks a lot.
Cool.
Picking one up, I think.
Thank you.
On it. I feel completely safe. I love the smoothness that it accelerates. Yeah, it's lovely. It's really great.
It's awesome. It's like you're standing up, like you're walking or something. It's easier than the bike, I think. It's good.
So it's easy and relaxed and look at it. Yeah, that's what I found.
Well, I feel fantastic. I tried once, and when you tried once, you won't want.
It's amazing. I went over the rocks over there a little bit, like a little pebble on the ground. It's super strong and it's nice. And the wheels are great. It's awesome.
I think you get the idea. People who ride it for the first time really enjoy it. Some of the things that I like are that, well, it's a scooter, it's a full-on scooter. It kind of looks like a bicycle, whereas the Coburg has a bicycle chain and it has a seat. The A-Ride appeals to me by not having a chain and being more scooter-like, but still at the same time kind of more standard bicycle-like. It looks like a bicycle, like a girl's bike. Remember, they used to call it a girl's bike because it didn't have that arcing stem from the handlebars to the seat that was for men, which, talk about something that doesn't make sense, like a design flaw. If it were me designing, I would make the one that does not have that piece for men for obvious reasons. And the one with the arcing piece of metal that goes, you know what I'm talking about. Or why have that at all? I don't know. Come on, I'm getting off into the weeds here. The one I'm leaning towards is the A-Ride. I might find out about something different and interesting between now and the time I sell my motorcycles, so who knows. At any rate, we're over the half an hour mark. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Electric Scooter Podcast. If you would like to send me your thoughts, ideas, dagwoodstreets@gmail.com. And I didn't address the email very deeply about what do you do to your wolf warrior to maintain it, because I mentioned it in the previous episode that I pick a day, and you can put this on your calendar if you have a cell phone. Most of us have cell phones, don't we? There is an app called Notes. Go into your Notes or calendar. Actually, calendar is better. And make it a recurring check your scooter. Walk around, tighten up your bolts, clean up a little bit, put some Loctite on the bolts that are loose. I recommend the blue Loctite over the red. I hope that answered these questions. And again, I did address it in a previous podcast. So until next time, let's keep in mind what Winston Churchill once said. You have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something in your life. So keep the shiny side up and the dirt side down.